that and Marky. The day that Victor Luis died, we both vowed to keep going for one another. And that was really the only purpose that I saw was that I couldn't leave her. I couldn't give up, I couldn't stop because she needed me. And if I hadn't had her, if something had happened to her, I don't know what I would have done. But that's how we kept going at that. So now I'm going to talk about things that I think all of you probably know. What makes it hard after we lose these kids that we're so looking forward to having and were so important to us and basically were the center of our universes at that time. What makes it hard going on? For Marky, it was going to the store, going to the grocery store and seeing all the babies or the baby aisle and those kind of things. She had the toughest time doing that. TV commercials that come on with the sweetest little babies playing with toys, especially during the holiday season. For me at work, it was really tough getting back to being a normal Air Force guy and everybody else acting like normal around me. And that's what they did, and that's what they're going to do. And there was nothing that you could do about that, but I hated it. It felt wrong to me. And that was very tough because they would talk to me like I was normal. And sometimes I would want to say, I don't understand why you think I care about that. I'm grieving right now, and all you have to do is scratch the surface. I mean, have you forgotten what happened 2, 3, 4, 5 months ago? That was very difficult, and it made me angry a lot. Isolation from our family and friends who already had kids. We never went to see my sister-in-law in California. We never went to see my sister in Dallas with our nieces there because we couldn't. Because being around those little babies was just too close to the grief that we were dealing with all the time. Another thing that was very difficult that I didn't know was going to be, Victor Luis was born in March, which is springtime, and that's where everything starts to come to life again. That fall was very difficult because the leaves turned, and it was a visual, real thing of the world and how the world keeps on going. And that was very upsetting because I didn't want him left behind, but the world was leaving him behind. He was in the spring of 2006, and now it was fall, and the cycle was continuing, and that was hard to deal with also. And then New Year, for the same reason, 2006 was his year. And we were going in 2007, and there was no Victor Luis in 2007. He wasn't here with us in 2007. It was 2006. So I wanted it to stay 2006. I got to believe that everybody here has emotions and thoughts like that. How we handled those things. One of the things that I thought of consciously, and I know that Marky did too because I could tell, I could feel it, is that no one got stronger than the other person. We were a partnership through it. We held hands through it, both literally and figuratively. If she was sad one day and I was feeling okay that day, then I wasn't going to keep on feeling okay. I was going to commiserate. I was going to sympathize. And I was going to share in that grief. And sometimes I would come home and I would just break down right when I came through the door because, she wasn't there at the door with my son. And she would see me break down and immediately she would be sad with me too, even if she was having an okay day. No one went faster than the other as far as how much strength we gained as life went on. So that's kind of how we were able to carry on. One of the things that I wrestled with, and I thought of over and over, it was God and heaven. And I had a grandfather die. Marky's granny died a year before our son. But this was so different because this was our little guy, and he's not here with us, so where is he? That parent instinct was always kicking in, and I had to get to grips with, is heaven real? Is he really at God's side? Why is it real? How do I figure all that out? And until you get there, there is no way, I think, to figure it all out. But really, a great lesson came from Victor Luis himself when I thought about it. And what I thought and came to realize was Victor Luis was really here. He was really in Marky's belly, and he was moving all around, and he was really cute. I'm thinking of his ultrasound where he was in there and he moved his little arms like this, and then he did a little number like this. It was adorable. So he was in there, and we were out here loving him, and he could hear our voices, and he could hear our little dogs, our schnauzers yiping all the time, and he could hear his mom talking to him and hear me, and I'm sure that he could feel her love, and I'm sure that he knew that he was wrapped in her love. So he heard all those things, and he knew something about them, but he didn't know what we looked like. And he didn't know what he himself looked like. I'm sure he couldn't have imagined those things. And I came to realize he couldn't imagine what the bright blue sky looks like. But it's there. It was there. It is there. He couldn't imagine what the sunset looks like. Other things came to mind. Christmas trees, which I talk about things that in life are magical for kids. He didn't know what a Christmas tree looked like, but that was waiting for him. What else? Hugs and kisses. He didn't know what hugs and kisses felt like. The ocean. Oh, another thing I thought of is when you're flying in an airplane and you see huge, amazing-looking structures made by the clouds, which that looks magical. He had never seen that before, but that's out there. That's real. And I realized that there were all these magical things out there that he never got a chance to see, but they were here. We were here waiting for him. His parents were here, his grandparents, all the hugs and kisses he was going to get from all his grandparents. They were here waiting for him, and he didn't know it, but it was true. Well, as it turns out, now it's reversed. And here we are in this phase of life. And we don't know what he knows, but it's there, and he's there waiting for us. And we don't know how beautiful it is, but I believe it is. The only difference is, instead of being born to us, he was born right to God. And he took the direct route. And that's great for him. It's hard for us, but it's great for him. So, when I came to realize that, I got a comfort that I hadn't had before, because it just makes so much sense. And I came to have peace with the idea that he's there, he's at God's side, and I'm going to be able to get his arms wrapped around my neck one day. However that works in heaven. And I love that, and that's always stayed with me since then. So that's one of the things that ended up giving me strength in this journey that we're on.